Hey friends, welcome to another Living Zeal video. Don't forget, if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe, like, share, everything we mention in every video. Today we're going to be talking to you a little more in depth about our plumbing setup. Why I decided to go with what we did, where we got everything, how it all works. Very, very simple setup. I went with the most primitive setup I possibly could. We only have cold water. It only goes one way. If you put it on hot water, cold water just comes out. We initially came up with the plan for the bus. We were going to have hot water. But if you start doing one of these conversions yourself, you realize, well, really, let me back that up a little bit. We don't want to use a ton of propane on the bus. We didn't want to have a big propane container. We just wanted to use the 1 pound propane containers at the most, and we wanted to use a minimal amount of those. We didn't want to have to burn a ton of fuel in here. We didn't want to have to buy a lot of propane. We wanted to be as renewable as possible. We're trying to stay away from using a propane hot water heater. Then we looked into solar hot water heaters and realized that they aren't quite to a point where they will work on a bus yet. Might work for the tiny house, but not for the bus yet. So we ended on no hot water, and honestly, it's been fine. We have not really missed it. We boil water we have 2 sources to boil water. We can come up with hot water pretty quickly if we need it. It just doesn't come out of this guy. So we got this sink on Amazon, and you've already seen it on our tour, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail about the sink, but we really enjoy this. So this is my water inlet. This is what's coming from our garage in the back, which I'll show you here in just a couple minutes. Just 1 5-gallon tank of water is where we get all of our cold water from, and we have 6 of those in the back. So the water comes in through the back, and I just got an adapter from Home Depot. I just brought this hose in there and the other hose and put them together in Home Depot. They really have no problem with you bringing things in there if you're working on a project, which is pretty cool. And these came with the sink. This hot and this cold, and this is just the hose and the dumbwaiter. Has a dumbwaiter on the bottom here. This is a really nice setup. I just took a drill bit, I believe it was a 2-inch, and just bored a hole through both countertops right here and ran the hosing through. I don't have anything sophisticated in there. I literally just screwed the sink directly into the wood, and it fits perfectly. We've never had an issue with it. So I've been wondering where the dirty water goes. This is our 5-gallon dirty water tank. And we've kind of realized it's a good idea to change this when we change the other jug and just keep them in line with each other, because if this overflows, when this overflows, it's a huge mess and it's a pain in the butt and it's gross. So we try to empty this as much as possible, and the way you do that is we'll just kind of remove our toiletries. And then I drilled a hole in the top of this cabinet, quite a large hole, so that this jug will just fit right up in there, and then you can take it out like that. And then we'll just take it outside or to some kind of sewer drain or wherever we can and just dump it. It's always just dish soap, dish water. So the only thing we really use this for is washing dishes or filling our bottles. And then that just pops right up in here. And if you can get down here, it kind of looks gross right now because we've been living in this for 3 months. But you can see this piece of PVC piping that's headed down from the sink through the insulation foam and all the way down, into the cabinet, where this just fits right over top of it and slides in there.
And there we go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, baby.
Easy peasy. So the only other thing I have to show you is where we keep all of our clean water jugs and how we get the water from back there to up here. So let's head out back. One of the first steps is figuring out how much water you're going to need. And we decided that 30 gallons would be good for us. Now we actually only started with 1 of these, and then we went to 2, and then we went to 3, and then we jumped up to 5, and then we ended up with 6. And 6 is kind of the magic number for us to have to change water once a week. These are 5-gallon jugs that you can get pretty much any grocery store, any Walmart. We've found them all over the place. We refill these at the little 37-cent a gallon refilling stations that you can also find in a lot of King Soopers in Colorado. Walmarts also have the refilling stations. So the reason that I wanted to go with these jugs rather than having a big 30-gallon holding tank that you have to refill from the outside is, in order to refill from the outside, I would have had to have a hose or a big water tank that I could fill the bus with pretty much every week. And I didn't want to have to be worrying about going to someone's house with a hose and filling up with nasty hose water, or filling up at an RV park with that kind of stuff. So wanted to go with this so that we could stop by any grocery store anytime we needed to refill our water. That being said, all 30 gallons are about $10 a week for our total water bill, and I think we can deal with that, really. Let me show you how it works. The lead jug is the one on the top here. I did that just for gravity's sake, so it doesn't have to pull it so far. And right now we actually have to change the water, so we're gonna go through that process. Whenever I have to change the water, actually don't mess with the top one. First, I pull one from the bottom. And I set that right there. And then I pop the cap off. Then I'll take the cap off the old one that has a hole in it with the hose going through it. Pull it all off together. Bring it down here to the new jug. Pop it into place. And then remove the old jug. Then I just hoist the new jug. Replace the bungee, just in case. And now this is ready to feed water to the front through this 1.3 gallon per minute pump that I got here. It's hooked up DC. It just has your positive and your ground. Now these are both running to a switch up front that I already showed you. And that switch runs back here. So there's wires running from here to the front and then from the front back that are going into my fuse block. I have the pump set up, 15 amp fuse. It doesn't need to be that high, but it's the only one I had at the time, to be honest with you. So that goes straight to the batteries. And whenever you flip the switch, it starts the pump, and then you can draw water from these jugs. We do have to do this every day. We go through about 5 gallons of water a day. The pump right here, this is 60 watts. And I will put a link to this in Amazon. It is loud. All of these pumps are loud though. The marine pumps, that's just how it goes. But it's a great pump and it's done us pretty well. We try to do a good solid blend of informative and fun here on Living Zeal. So I know this is a little more informative than fun, but the next video is going to be super fun. So stay tuned, please. And thanks for checking us out, guys.